Hello and thank you for joining an evening meditation. It's very late, but I just wanted to do a quick meditation to center the mind. I think that's the best way of putting it. I thought it would be worth doing a brief reflection on how we center and I guess calm the mind, but it's also take control of the mind in the way of taking care of it. What I mean by that is I often come to see the body as like a vehicle that we ourselves are driving, and we know that even though the vehicle is not directly us, we need the vehicle. And when the vehicle breaks down, we break down. So there is that aspect there of treating our vehicle well in order to be well. I think there are many layers to this, more than I could say in a very brief meditation, more than would be worth saying. Because often it is difficult just to treat our vehicle well. Maybe if we're not feeling fantastic as we are, sometimes we won't want to treat our vehicle well, or we won't have the motivation to. Sometimes there is the feeling of wanting to replicate on the outside what we feel on the inside, and then causing this vicious cycle where we harm the car, and then the car ends up harming us, and we all go down together. So we can stop that cycle by just pausing and bringing ourselves into the moment. And we can do that at any point in time that we so choose, but we have to be willing to choose. That is all we have to be, though. Willing. All it takes is a moment. And perhaps that moment is right now. And if you can pause in this moment right now, and now being a focal word of this, because that's all that is in this moment. Everything that's been is entirely gone from you, and everything that's ahead of you is exactly there. It's very far ahead of you. You're not there. You don't need to worry about that. All you need to do is focus in this moment right now. And in the reflection that we've just had, we can ask ourselves, how are we feeling? What comes to mind when we first bring up that question? What were the first answers? There usually are more than one. Did they stem around the feelings of mental and emotional? Did they stem around the ideas of the physical? If you're feeling tired, are you feeling tired emotionally or physically? Are you feeling sad? Maybe you're feeling full of energy and you want to release it. Is the body controlling the mind, or is the mind controlling the body? Who's driving this car? This now, this here, This is a moment to stop the vehicle entirely and remain stopped, and know that you don't need to go anywhere right now. And when we start the vehicle again in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you will be driving at whatever pace feels right. And you can choose to keep the car or the vehicle in whatever condition feels right. In this separation of mind and body, I think what it allows us to do is also bring to mind the ideas around desire. What are the desires of our mind and the needs of our mind, and what are the needs of our body? I think we can bring this to the fore with things like eating, diet, nutrition. So often, for long periods in my life, I would nourish my body with what my mind wanted and not what my body needed. My body suffered for the desires of my mind. And we can say, hey, that's okay. We can't live in total restriction, and we shouldn't. But what's funny is I think that my mind had ended up suffering because of my body wasn't getting what it needed. So in turn, that cycle continued. If we can stop at any moment and separate those two, the desires of our mind and the needs of our body, and put first the needs of our body, then this puts us in such a fortunate position. There's inner strength in that as well. Discipline to be able to control the mind, to tell the mind no sometimes. And then the next level of that, to not even need to tell the mind no, because the mind is already knowing what is its desire and what is its body's need. On my best days, I am just going to the fridge and, with the sole intention of giving my body only what it needs. But not being too fixed on that either. Everything is a balance. And I laugh in this moment because when we come close to pushing things too far in either direction, we realize the ridiculousness of life at large. I hope that some of this has been able to ground us in the present moment. Let's try and sink deeper into this present moment and find gratitude. However it comes, however it arrives, sometimes we can find ourselves being thankful for the most surprising of things. Sometimes it's the first thing that pops into your mind. I just thought, my hands. Look at that. I can turn my hands up and down. If I couldn't do that, I think I'd like to. But I've never been grateful for that before. You know, I've never been grateful for my elbows either. Look at that. Right, enough silliness in the moment. Let's straighten our backs with the inhale. Feel those shoulders go back and the chest come out. Like the head's being pulled to the ceiling, the top of the crown. Hold that in-breath. Keep holding. We're here, we're now. And exhale. Keep the back straightened. Feel those elbows drop. Those hands on those knees. Sinking a little lower. Shoulders staying back. Let's bring our chin up as we inhale now. Look to the sky. And exhale, chin to chest.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
And ignore any perhaps electronic interferences around us. Any distractions. Inhale to the sky again. And exhale down. In this way, we are slowing the body. We paused, we spoke, we listened, maybe. And what we're doing now, maybe just let's rock back and forwards ever so slightly. Inhale to the front, chin up. Exhale to the back, shoulders forward. Inhale. In these small movements, we are slowly grounding ourselves. It's a great skill to be able to stop immediately. I don't want to keep going back to the vehicle metaphor, but no car ever comes to an immediate stop. And if cars can just slowly stop moving down through the gears, that helps us come to where we need to be. Let's do a couple more stretches. As we sink into a meditation, let's come forward. I'll always say I think it's one of the most important. The Madhyasana and Vipassana, cat-cow. The spine holds so much energy around that back. And the neck, and the throat, and the shoulders. Feel those hands pressed in against the mat. Rocking back and forwards. And just sink a little further into this meditation, letting the body do whatever it needs. Once we've done an asana once or twice, we almost don't really have to think about it. The body starts acting automatically. And we'll see that mind-body connection again. The connection when we begin to separate what our mind desires and our body needs. We'll start to see the body expressing to us what it needs. Because the mind's desires have been temporarily prioritized. When we are looking and allowing the body to tell us where it's at, the body will speak. I'm going to take pigeon. Feel free to join me. Let's come up into a plank. I feel like pigeon is a pose which has sort of a medium level aspect of surrender. I'll show you. Bring that right knee forwards and the heel slightly to one side. If you can, come up and stretch that back a little bit. Inhale. Take all the air from the diaphragm to the top of the lungs and hold. And exhale to the mat. Inhale, come up. Bring the right leg back into plank. Left leg forward. And down. Inhale, up. Let's just take a few breaths here. Sometimes when we're not in alignment, sometimes it's because we're not able to just pause and let everything go. The letting everything go part isn't always quite so easy. But the pausing part, that's a lot easier. And we can still bring ourselves to the mat, or to a cushion, or just into a peaceful moment, wherever we are. Inhale. Feel that breath come all the way up. Exhale to the mat. Inhale, up, legs back. And here in this plank, I want you to tell yourself, as though you're like looking at yourself. Imagine you're planking on a lake right now. And you're looking at your reflection in water. And I want you to look into yourself, into those eyes that are reflecting back at you. I want you to tell yourself, I am strong. Tell yourself again, I am strong. Feel that strength within you right now. Feel it growing, growing, getting bigger, growing up through your shoulders, right from your core, down towards your legs, across to your elbows, all the way through to your hands touching the mat, to your feet touching the mat, to your toes, to your fingers. You are strong. You are strong. You are strong. You have an immeasurable strength. And you can tap into this moment, into this strength, whenever you need. Inhale one last time. Drop to the mat. Come over, inhale. Exhale. And seat. No downward dog today. I'm going to take a moment of meditation just to enjoy this moment of presence. And that's what I'm going to be grateful for. As you know, I like to meditate on gratitude. Often just whatever comes to mind. In this moment, I'd like to be grateful for, I'm feeling grateful for the ability to have found this beautiful moment of presence and the strength that blossoms from it. With each inhale, feel that back strengthen. And with each exhale, feel those shoulders drop back, elbows down, and palms sink. Thank you for joining me this evening. And I send you love wherever you are.